Let's now move into the energies that exist in the world behind your eyes. Hello everyone, thank you for joining me today. In today's video, I'd like to share some kernels of truth and knowledge with you that I discovered many years ago when I started studying this book from Lillian Bridges, The Art of Chinese Facial Reading. And it opened up many doors of perceptions for me and changed the way I viewed myself in many ways through that lens of our emotions. Those emotions, those messengers, like I so lovingly tell you in many of my videos, because they really are messengers to us, even though at times we might not consider it that. Take, for instance, our negative emotions, any one of those emotions that have grit to it, anger and frustration and those types of things. Those negative emotions that keep us trapped within those energies of our first, second, and third chakras, where our survival instincts exist. Those negative emotions, if we learn to understand what they mean to us, they can become tools that help move us on our journey of healing. So let's just take that moment where we can actually soften our gaze. So instead of looking around and busy what the computer screen is showing us, or our tablet or our phone, let's actually just soften our gaze a little, soften our eyelids. You don't have to close your eyes completely, but soften your gaze down towards the ground. And let's just take a moment and have a big, deep breath in through our nose. And then exhale deeply through the mouth. The ancient Chinese considered 5 emotions to be the most important. These emotions were called the rebels of the body and needed to be kept under control. Fear from the kidneys, anger from the liver, joy from the heart, worry from the spleen and stomach, and sorrow from the lungs. These emotions are a necessary part of the human experience and have value when used in balance. However, overuse and underuse of these emotions can cause harm to the organ to which they belong. None of these emotions are bad emotions. It's a problem when you do not manage the expression of them, or you suppress the release of them. That when one is angry, the chi rises upwards. When one is joyous, the chi disperses. When one is sad, the chi becomes exhausted. When one is fearful, the chi descends. And when one is anxious or excited, the chi scatters and becomes chaotic. When one worries too much, the chi stagnates. Feeling, expressing, or repressing these emotions all have an effect on the body and its function, and it eventually shows on our faces. Fear. Fear contains the qualities of cold and moistness. It is a water element. Its organ is the kidneys. Fear is the most primal of all the emotions, and the one we arrive with from the trauma of our birth experience. We spend the rest of our lives trying to deal with our numerous fears. It is an ongoing battle for most people to fight their fears. Fear arises with different circumstances, and at times when a current situation resembles a time from the past when we were hurt or harmed, fear is also common when people imagine future scenarios of loss or pain. When an individual feels afraid, the energy in the body drops down to protect the vital organs. The sphincter muscles, which are controlled by the kidneys, want to loosen to release any stored bodily fluids or solids. In this fight or flight mode, the body attempts to eliminate anything unnecessary to prepare for attack or to flee. This is one of the fundamental responses to danger, real or imagined. Overuse of fear depletes your kidneys. This is seen on the face as dark circles under your eyes. It also exhausts the adrenals and makes the nervous system too fiery, and this can be seen as red-rimmed lower eyelids, or the 3 white-sided eyes. When severe, it can show up as a weakness in the structure of the chin, in the fleshy area that makes the chin look like orange peel. This kind of chin appears wobbly and the flesh does not appear to be well attached to the bone. This is an indication of lack of will and courage caused by deficient kidneys. People who have been in chronic fear, their eyes open too wide and they appear to be in a constant state of shock. The darkness in their eyes is a sign of the inability to move through the fear that they are holding within. Fear is slow to debilitate, but when held for long periods, it depletes our Jing energy. It weakens the kidneys and the bones, and it causes premature aging. This is seen in bones that become brittle and break easily, and also in incontinence problems. Therefore, any signs of premature aging are signs of overuse of the kidneys, overuse of the will, and/or chronic fear. Fear can be a valuable emotion when felt in moderation. It creates caution and an early warning system that protect us from potential harm. When real and not imaginary, it galvanizes the body into preparation for fight or flight. But the imagination must be tamed so that the experience of fear is not created when it's not really needed in a current situation. The emotion of anger. Anger encompasses the qualities of heat and dryness, and therefore the qualities of fire. Anger is a very powerful emotion that is used both as a shield for defense and as a weapon. It is probably the most expressed and validated emotion in the Western world. Anger destroys and also creates change. The ancient Chinese described anger as the key rising upward, making your face flush and your eyes bulge. Anger is also a very focused emotion and creates hardness and tightness in the body in preparation for fighting an attack. If anger is a constant emotion, it causes a hardening of the body, leading to rigid thinking and problems with adaptation and change. Anger is an energetic attack that affects the recipient in a specific place in his or her body. Everyone reacts to anger differently. For some, it attacks the stomach or the intestines. In others, the heart, chest, or head is affected. Anger is so strong that it can attack you even if it is not directed at you. You can just be around an angry person and absorb it. Later, when you have a tight chest or an upset stomach, you might want to think back to some anger you absorbed through your most vulnerable organ and find a way to release it. Anger is so pervasive in our society that it is almost an epidemic. When overused, anger is seen as very deep lines between the eyebrows, and the whole area has a reddish cast. The sclera, the white part of the eyes, can also become chronically red. The face hardens into a mask, the lips are held very tight, and the jaw clenches. Eventually, the jaw structure will weaken. The eyebrows will lose hair. The area between the eyebrows will become sunken and hollow under the wrinkles, and the sclera will darken and have a yellowish green-gray appearance. These are signs of overuse or toxicity of the liver. However, these symptoms can be caused by other sources besides anger, such as toxins. Certainly, the liver enjoys processing toxins, but too much anger is very toxic, and environmental toxins can also cause great harm to our liver. The emotions of joy or excitement. This, too, is a quality of the fire element, and it encompasses energetic qualities of dry and heat. The ancient Chinese had a great fear of excess fire. They cautioned repeatedly in their writings and teachings to beware of burning up your qi. They warned not to get too excited or too sad. They believed in moderation of all the emotions, and especially of the fire element, which is translated as joy. Joy, which is defined by Webster's dictionary as a very glad feeling, happiness, great pleasure. However, living off your adrenals and constantly seeking higher levels of excitement and sensory experiences is exhausting and ultimately harmful to the body. Excitement causes your energy to become scattered and chaotic. However, it is a very attractive emotion. The eyes widen and brighten, the shen flares, the mouth opens slightly, and the nervous system begins to vibrate at a very high frequency. If you feel this enough, you will get lines around the corners of your eyes, affectionately known as crow's feet. Excitement is fun in the short term and exhausting in the long term. It is an emotion that is much too commonly sought out in the Western world. There are large numbers of adrenal junkies and sensation seekers who constantly strive for bigger and better thrills. In reality, the spirit can't emerge if the body is operating too quickly. Living on an emotional roller coaster is another kind of lifestyle that overuses the fire energy. Frequently expressing all feelings on a grand scale leaves little time for contemplation, rest, or deep feeling. It is hard to recover from the exhaustion that comes from living with emotional extremes, and those who are used to living this way collapse frequently, only to build up just enough energy to do it all again. Excitement is temporary and fleeting. After that period of intense excitement always comes the letdown, which is another fire emotion known as sadness. Sadness is part of the rebound effect that leads to the quest for more excitement instead of peace. When the sadness leads to tears, it becomes sorrow and then grief, which are both of the lung emotions. Worry and confusion. Worry and confusion is known as an earth element, but also has the qualities of heat and moisture with it. The earth element is represented in the body by the spleen and the stomach. The emotions involved with these organs is worry. The worrying usually involves someone else, as people with a lot of earth energy are very other-oriented. Worry has no resolution. It is a repetitive process that is like a hamster on an exercise wheel. The ancient Chinese believed that this emotion led to stagnation of the mind and the body. You never really get anywhere when you worry except back to where you started. Worry leads to confusion when thinking becomes involved. This kind of thinking is repetitive and obsessive, and it is accompanied by a churning feeling in your gut. Worry, which is sometimes called excessive sympathy by the Chinese, is an attempt to feel close with people that you care about even when they're not present. There is a lack of boundaries between earth people and a need to stay connected with others. This is a very maternal or paternal energy. There is rarely an attempt to do anything about the worry, but the act of worrying itself makes it feel as though you're doing something for someone that you love. Worry causes the Qi or Chi to stagnate. The energy gets stuck in the brain and in the stomach, resulting in unclear thinking and incomplete digestion. This behavior is believed to contribute to weight gain. Worrying rarely solves any problems. The feelings are not released, but instead are held onto and replayed over and over again. Repetitive thinking and action result in stagnation that can turn into an emotional or physical quagmire. It keeps people stomping in the swamp, dealing with unresolved feelings and muddied thoughts instead of being able to move on or forward. It creates indecisiveness and the need to find authority outside the self. It can lead someone to becoming a lost soul. The soul's intent can be buried beneath whirling thoughts and recycled feelings. And now on to the emotion of grief. Grief is associated with our lungs, and it encompasses the qualities of cold and dryness. The last basic emotion of the 5 elements is the earth emotion of grief. This emotion is felt the deepest and compromises the immune system the most. Grief is not an emotion that we in the Western world are allowed to express much. In fact, in the United States, it is considered unseemly to show too much grief, even at a funeral. We admire people who hold their emotions in and keep themselves controlled and composed. People are allowed to show and share their grief for approximately 3 months following a loss, and after that they are expected to internalize it and given up to a year to process their loss, as if that was all the time that was necessary to deal with the loss. One of the latest phrases about grief that is in common use is needing to get closure. This shows the belief that grief is supposed to have an ending. But there is no end to grief, just a lightening and eventually a letting go of a very dark and deep emotion. In other parts of the world, it is considered proper to show extreme grief, to prostrate oneself in front of the coffin, weep profusely, or wail uncontrollably. This gets the emotions out. Widows are allowed to wear their mourning clothes for as long as they want, sometimes for the rest of their lives. In a completely opposite way, some cultures encourage celebration of someone's life, as in the Irish wakes or the Balinese parades. They're attempting to find the good in a tragedy, and they combine laughter with the pain of loss, which seems to help lighten the grieving experience. Grief can be an overwhelming emotion and has been shown to lower the immune system function faster than any other emotion. The ancient Chinese doctors believed that grief caused the qi to become exhausted. It diminishes the capacity of the lungs to take air in and compromises the ability to breathe out toxins. Grief limits life and the ability to live with any zest. I believe that the spirit of the person left behind tries to go with the spirit that is left, and this does not leave enough spirit in the body to live fully, only partially. Therefore, it is important to take the time necessary to process grief, but avoid trying to hold on to those that have left you. You need to stay here, in the present time, and enjoy life. And breathe. Bringing that focus back into your breath. Imagining that breath as if it were a beautiful golden circle of light in your mind. As you inhale, illuminating one half of that circle, and as you exhale, illuminating the other half. until the simple fluid movement of breathing in and out through your nose creates a beautiful golden circle of light in your mind, the energy that is you. It's been an honor today to share these kernels of truth with you that come from this beautiful book on ancient Chinese facial reading, and I urge you to purchase yourself a copy of this. It's of tremendous value. As you can see, mine is so well used that it's falling apart, literally. It has offered me so much guidance in times of stress and discomfort, because remember that the journey of healing is uncomfortable. It's one of the main reasons why most people don't even venture into it. But learn that through these veils of your emotions, especially your negative emotions, those are where the healing path begins for you, for all of us, because we are all one. We're all in this together. So learn to embrace those emotional messengers with some grace. Learn to embrace those emotional messengers with lightheartedness, to realize at any given moment in time when you are feeling a negative emotion that, aha, I just figured something out about myself. I think this a lot of the times, or I feel this emotion a lot of the times. That's where the healing needs to begin for you. There's so much value in learning to understand your emotions, what they do to your physical body, what they do to your mental faculties, how they drain your power from you, and then how you can learn to bring that power back into the here and now, to cultivate that awareness of happiness and joy and forgiveness to yourself and others. Because remember, the journey of healing is all about letting go. So thank you for joining me today. I would like to take this moment and share with you an offering from one of my lovely colleagues. Her name is Lily. So if you'd like to take that extra step into this healing of yourself, Lily offers an abundance of knowledge in the healing energy of Reiki. If you mention my name, when you go ahead and place your booking with her, she'll give you a lovely discount. Check out her other offerings on her page as well. And we have linked her link in the description below. I'd also like to take this moment and say to all of you out there that are watching my videos that it's a tremendous help to us in growing this channel so that we can provide more videos for you like this if you give us a thumbs up. So hit the like, click the subscribe button if you'd like to see more from this channel. And if you'd like to get all of the updates on the new videos that are released, hit that little notification bell that's sitting right beside the subscribe button, and it allows you to get notifications when our new videos are released. It helps tremendously. As I'm learning this platform myself, I realize that all of the algorithms out there pick up on all of this information. So thank you all so much for your tremendous support and for helping us grow community. Make sure to check out the community tab if you've subscribed to my channel, because in there we'll add in extra little tidbits for you every now and then as well. If we haven't met before, my name is Marie. Much love to all of you.